how expensive is it to fly ladies to Germany or Poland if Ukraine is not an option? Well, Ukraine is no fly zone, so you cannot fly them to neither Germany, Poland, or any other part of the world because simply there is nothing flying. So they would have to take a ground transportation. Germany is going to be too far for them, so if you meet a lady from Ukraine, you would want to meet either in Poland or Moldova, depending on what part of Ukraine she's from. A lot of ladies I've heard choose Moldova simply because it can be a pain in the neck to go through customs to go into Poland. They're not always treating, that's what I've heard, I mean, I haven't experienced, but they're not always treating Ukrainian ladies, Ukrainian people nicely at the border. So they prefer to go to Moldova, and there are also a lot of transportation available. Train doesn't go to Moldova, but you always can take a bus, and it's about plus minus the same travel time. Or if she's actually from southern Ukraine, like Odessa area, then it's 4 hours bus ride, and she's Moldova. Like that's nothing compared to a lovely 19 hours train ride from Kyiv to Warsaw, which those tickets are actually a pain in the neck to buy. You know, I can tell you stories how hard it was to buy a ticket out of Ukraine. To Ukraine, absolutely no problem. You can buy it as long as you plan it in advance. Out of Ukraine, you need to you need to buy it through Ukrainian Railroad app, and it needs to be bought by a Ukrainian because you need to upload your Ukrainian ID, which obviously you guys don't have. So it's going to be a little challenging, but again, we can go more details about it. All right, and as far as ladies traveling, meeting ladies, keep in mind they're not gonna travel that far for a blind date. I mean, I understand you're flying so far, but you're not meeting only one lady, right? So you're gonna be meeting several at least. And to them, to go to meet one man for a blind date and take time off work, if she has a child, find a babysitter, it's gonna be very, very difficult, and she has to take at least 3-4 days off work. Again, complicated. So if she's doing all that, she would want to make sure, first of all, you pay for her trip. So you pay for all expenses, hotel, her transportation. And also, she would want to see you at least on the video. So maybe exchange few letters, when you both of you comfortable, move on to the video call. After you see each other face to face, and she's like, yeah, well, okay, that's somebody I'll be interested in. And the same thing, you're interested in her, then you proceed with scheduling a meeting, and we can help you with that. There are different ways to do it, maybe either exchange contact information or schedule introductions through us, but there are options. So yes, make sure you do a video call before arrange all that. But honestly, in my opinion, it's still easiest thing to do is just go to Ukraine, meet a bunch of people instead of going this route and trying to bring ladies to Europe, because it's gonna be expensive by the time you're done paying for their travel expenses. And again, you don't know if it's really gonna click or not. You might pay for 3 nights at a hotel for her and you just hate each other on the first date. I mean, you're still stuck with this lady for 3 more days, and you're paying for dinners and everything else because you're gentlemen. Also, you're gonna be spending money on correspondence. You're gonna be spending money on introductions. You're gonna be spending money on Skype calls. So that's gonna, to meet the let's say three ladies in Poland, they're probably gonna, easily spend 2,000-3,000 by the time, easily on those arrangements. By the time you pay for everything, including correspondence. So, I would necessarily recommend it because again, it's a gamble. But when you go to Ukraine and meet dozens or hundreds of people, chances of finding the right person for you is much easier. Of course, we would not recommend to go to dangerous parts of Ukraine. We would not recommend to go to eastern border. Some guy, I get email, some guys asking about going to Kharkov. Like, oh yeah, the war zone is 20 kilometers. So the war zone is 12 miles away. It's so close. I would not recommend to go there. But other cities could be okay, especially maybe at least on the western border of Ukraine. Meet in Lviv if you're not comfortable going any further into Ukraine. All right, so John, tell us you were cooking this year in Kyiv. Well, define cooking. So problem with cooking in Ukraine right now, especially trying to bake a turkey. First of all, our turkey delivery was canceled the night before, and we were unable to find the turkey at the last moment because they don't really sell whole turkeys in Ukraine, so that was whole adventure. And the last whole turkey was sold to somebody else, we didn't get it. had to buy a duck. Well, which would be okay. That would be sufficient enough. Still a bird. But the problem is, so we rent an apartment with a kitchen, so we can cook all this. Part of the stuff we cook. We made borscht, we made mashed potatoes, some salads. Okay, that was fine. But when it came to baking a duck, they turned off electricity for 6 hours. So it was nice candlelight dinner, but there was no electricity, so we couldn't just throw a duck. We can't serve it, so the staff ended up taking it home. But the rest of the dinner was fine. I think guys liked it. Borscht was good. Borscht is always good. Nick, were things safe during the last tour? Again, I stayed in Kyiv the entire time. I didn't go any further, but Kyiv was fine. Hotel is in the city center, and it's close to government buildings, so city center is pretty protected. Of course, if you go outskirts of Kyiv, yes, you can have more stuff flying around, but city center is fine. There was an air alarm every night, but with Rus Hotel, first of all, I didn't, personally, I've heard it only on the night 3. I just slept through it first 2 nights, and the third night I finally noticed it. Okay, there's some, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. And as guys, nobody throughout the tour, and nobody went down to shelter, so everybody just, Plus I joined by some Telegram channels, and it just said, for Kyiv specifically, and it sends you a notification if it's a drone attack or missile attack. The girls told me okay, if it's a drone attack, just keep sleeping, don't bother, nothing's gonna happen. If it's a missile attack, we do recommend to go shelter. So there was only one missile attack, but even then, I just I'm just gonna go to breakfast. I'm not gonna go down to shelter, so I just went to breakfast. It was packed, everybody just sitting there having breakfast. Nobody cared. So I don't know, people just taking it as normal. Power outages is a big thing, again, if you're not staying in the hotel. Also, for you guys traveling to Ukraine or thinking about going to Ukraine, keep that in consideration, because your dates will be late. I mean, on that morning when there was alert for missile attack, one guy's 2 dates were cancelled because we were we have no way to get to you, because it really affects the traffic situation, and and the power outages. I go to a supermarket and there's power outages, even though everything has its generator, power generator is not kicking in right away, so you're standing there in the dark in the supermarket, just okay, so what do I do now? Or in Rus Hotel, when power is out, it again, in some cases it would take up to 20 minutes for the power to go back. And the elevators would stuck, and there were 17 floors, so imagine for people who are going down or going up, they would be stuck in the elevator for those 20 minutes. So I was recommending guys maybe take the stairs if you could, just if you're claustrophobic. So some things you need to take consideration. Yes, so it might affect the timing on your dates, especially if you have one date scheduled at 10 and second at noon, and so it's pretty close, and your first date is late because of circumstances that's beyond your control. It will affect your second date, so you either have to cut the first date short or cancel it so you can make it on the second date. But anyway, the stuff will help you navigate those things, so it's not the end of the world, not too difficult. And those of you guys that schedule Zoom calls, definitely keep that in consideration, because when the power outages, it can be out for 2-3 hours. They do have a schedule how it's supposed to be done, or all citizens have the schedules. They know but if it says 10 p.m. doesn't mean it's going to be 10 p.m. It can be easily 9, it can be easily 1 a.m. Usually government doesn't follow it too well, so keep that in mind. Daryl, actually, guys, let's do something else. I'm gonna get back to your questions, but since we started talking about Ukraine, let's watch a couple of interviews I've done with the girls when I was in Ukraine last week. Good evening, guys. Today we're joined by beautiful Miroslava, profile 220282. Thank you for joining us tonight, Miroslava.
Спасибо, что к нам присоединились сегодня.
Очень рада.
I'm very happy.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Можете, пожалуйста, рассказать о себе?
Я украинка, живу в Киеве, мне 41 год. Работаю маркетолог в юридической компании. Из увлечения это спорт. Люблю время проводить со своей семьей.
I'm a Ukrainian. I'm 41 years old. I work as a marketologist specialist for a law company. I like to spend time with my family.
Perfect. Why did you join our company, our agency?
Почему вы решили к нам?
Это расширит мои возможности, даст возможность познакомиться с новыми интересными людьми и за пределами Украины в том числе.
This will broaden my chances to meet an interesting man and will let me meet someone outside of my country.
That's great. Do you have any preferences what country your future husband can be from?
Нет, у меня нет предпочтений по стране, но, скорее всего, хотелось бы, чтобы это была теплая страна. Северная не очень люблю.
No, I don't have any preference regarding the country, but I would prefer living in a warm country. The northern country is a cold one, so would not be my preference.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's snowing outside right now, so everybody wants to be in a warm place. That is for sure. That is great. Have you been to our social events?
Нет, я не посещала еще ваши ивенты.
Well, hopefully you'll join it one day.
No, I have never visited your socials.
Perfect. Have you met any of the foreigners, any individual dates on one-on-one?
Да, я была на 2 свиданиях, но пока это не те люди, которых бы я... Вы же вырежете это только? Да. Была на 2 свиданиях, но пока я не почувствовала химии, не почувствовала влечения к этим людям. Поэтому я пока открыта к знакомствам.
Yeah, I've had 2 dates through your company. They were nice, but I didn't feel the chemistry as of now, so I'm still searching.
Hopefully you'll find a special person very soon. And maybe your future husband is watching us right now. Anything you would like to tell him?
Если ты меня сейчас видишь, я тебя очень нравлюсь, то я тебя жду в Украине.
If you see me now and if you really like me, I'm looking forward meeting you in my country.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, that was Miroslava, 220-282. Just send her a letter and meet her in Kyiv. Thank you. Thank you. Hello guys, today we're joined by beautiful Christina, profile number 216324. Thank you for joining us today, Christina.
Yeah, my name is Christina. I'm 24 years old and I work like blogger.
Wonderful. So do you have much experience with our website? Have you been to our socials?
Yeah, I had experience and I'm date with man from the site and I have a good experience, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't find that special person yet, you're still in the search?
Not yet, but I have a dream that I find this person on the site, yeah.
And how's your ideal man look like? Whom are you looking for?
I'm looking for a good man, like gentleman, kind. It's really so important for me, and that man that know how to treat a woman. It's also important to me.
Will his age matter? Are you open to different age gaps?
Maybe it depends on person, but my desire will be that it's maybe not about 10 years, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it depends on person, yeah.
Sure. Are you open to relocate to a different country?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, but I can say that really it's dependent person. At first, I want just dating in Ukraine, for example, or just texting. But in future, yeah, I can leave Ukraine and go to abroad. Yeah.
A lot of guys are a little worried about traveling to Ukraine right now. What do you think about it? Is it dangerous to come to Ukraine now, in your opinion? To Kyiv specifically?
As to me, it's not dangerous because I'm just used to to the situation. But I know that's fear, so we can just texting.
Sure, I understand. Well, maybe your future husband is watching us right now. Anything you would like to say?
Maybe you can text me.
All right, guys, you can come to Kyiv and meet Christina here. She's looking to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Hello, guys. Tonight we're joined by Alena, profile number 29815. Hello, Alena. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Здравствуйте, мне тоже приятно познакомиться, и спасибо за приглашение.
Good evening, nice meeting you as well. Thank you for inviting me here.
Pleasure meeting you as well. And I'm sure guys would like to know more about you. Can you tell something about yourself?
Конечно, мы уверены, что мужчины хотели бы побольше узнать о вас. Можете, пожалуйста, рассказать о себе немного?
Так, Алена, мне 31, у меня есть дочь.
My name is Alena. I'm 31 years old. I have a daughter.
Я занимаюсь визажом уже 8 лет.
I've been doing makeup for 8 years.
Так, из хобби это спорт, просто тренажерный зал.
And my hobby is just attending the gym.
That's great. Do you like to travel?
Нравится вам путешествовать?
Да, когда есть возможность, обязательно это делаю.
Of course, each time I get the possibility, I try to do that, for sure.
Wonderful. So, have you ever been to our social events?
Когда-нибудь посещали наши вечеринки?
Да, была пару раз.
Yeah, I've visited a few times.
And how did you like it?
Как понравилось?
Да, было довольно-таки неплохо, но на такое количество девушек очень мало мужчин.
Yeah, it was quite nice, but I should say that, you know, the amount of ladies were not as...
Not guys. All right. All right. Yeah, we're trying to bring more men to Ukraine. I'm sure that, they're a little scared right now, given the situation, to travel to Ukraine. Would you recommend guys to travel to Ukraine at this time?
Мы пытаемся привозить мужчин, но не все, не все готовы сюда приезжать, некоторые боятся. И как вы считаете, рекомендуете мужчинам приезжать к нам сейчас в Украину в такое время?
Не, ну если мужчина боится, то незачем себя подвергать опасности. А так, то почему бы и нет? На
Of course, if a man is
неделя можно.
scared, there is no reason to risk your life. But if a man feels comfortable coming here for a week or two, would be a good idea.
Yeah, great. And can you tell us a little bit more about the type of a man you're looking for?
Поделитесь с нами, какого мужчину вы ищете, какой типаж,
Какой типаж?
черты характера.
Черты характера, чтобы мужчина был мужчина, я не знаю, типаж. Высокий, самое главное. Возраст мы не будем оглашать.
She says so. It's important that a man is a real man, and I prefer a tall man.
Главное, чтобы наши взгляды как-то совпадали.
It's important that that we look same way, same direction.
Does it matter what country he'll be from?
Есть какая-то разница предпочтения по стране?
Я думаю, нет.
There is no preference. Doesn't matter.
Well, we have 2 socials coming up. Hopefully you'll meet somebody really nice. But if not, I'm sure more guys would love to see you on our next tours.
У нас впереди 2 вечеринки. Надеемся, что вам удастся с кем-то познакомиться. Если
Я
нет,
по
то...
возможности буду присутствовать, но не обещаю.
So I'll try to visit one of the socials, but I can't promise.
All right. Maybe your future husband is looking at you right now. Any last words you'd like to say to him?
Возможно, ваш будущий муж сейчас на вас смотрит. Возможно, вы бы хотели ему сказать 2-3 слова.
Но если он меня видит, смотрит, да, то пусть почувствует меня и как-то там искоркой своей поделится. Вот тогда это будет какая-то взаимная связь.
So if you, my future husband, is seeing me now and you feel I'm your future wife, please give me a note and share your sparkle with me.
All right, guys. So that was Alena, 209-105, and come to Kyiv and meet her in person. Thank you so much, Alena.
Спасибо большое.
So guys, that was three lovely ladies I talked to when I was in Ukraine. We have more interviews, so stay tuned. Next week we're gonna continue. I see you guys any questions. Steve says Anna needs an interpreter. Well, Anna does. Actually, sometimes Anna needs an interpreter because the reason is, first of all, some of the ladies speak Ukrainian. I do not speak Ukrainian. I speak Russian. So in the past, before the war, it would be one situation. There would be no language challenges for me. I could just speak everyone to Russian, and everybody was very open speaking Russian back to me. But right now, you can understand that that's not the same, and people would prefer to speak their native language. Some are open, but some prefer not. So that's why I did have to rely on. I understand what they're saying, but still, it's hard for me to speak Ukrainian. I don't speak it. And plus, also, somebody was asking about, yes, Karari says, her profile said she spoke good English. Did she choose not to speak English? Yes, all the ladies actually I interviewed, they all spoke at least some kind of English. Some, even those ladies that spoke it fluently, they preferred not to. Because they worried for the video, they know it's interview, as they worried what if they understand something doesn't come out right. So in some girls you could see we didn't have to translate the question, she understood what I was saying. But when she was speaking, she asked the interpreter, in this case was Helen from Kyiv office, just to translate it. So that's why that was like this. So yeah, guys, be prepared when you go to especially Ukraine, on other countries too. On the first date, ladies quite often would want to use the interpreter. She wants to make sure the communication goes efficient. Even though she understands it in some cases, still she wants to express her right. And also sometimes it's also security feature too, because you never know who you're meeting. In the yes, you maybe exchange some letters, but it still can be a stranger from the internet, because in the letters people can write one thing, but they act totally different, and not always act like a gentleman, and just try to grab a person, touch a person, and do something inappropriate, and of course it would scare ladies, so they prefer to go on a date with with an interpreter just as a safety blanket. And when she says, okay, now my man is fine, and cool, we can communicate and we can use Google Translate, and that's fine. So it applies to most of the countries, not except the Philippines. Ladies speak fluent English, but even in those cases, quite often they show on a date with a chaperone, just for just to somebody to watch, make sure everything's okay. And again, I don't blame them. It's still online dating. We do provide them your criminal background form, but again, paper is paper. But when you're dealing with human being, they all heard horror stories. So I'm sure, a lot of you guys are sending a lot of stereotypes and horror stories you've read on the internet, and you're thinking, that something bad's gonna happen, that you're gonna wake up in a bus stop full of ice, missing a kidney, or when you get married, your fiance or your wife will run away as soon as she gets her green card. It's all the horror stories and stereotypes, and most of them has nothing to do with reality. But same thing, ladies hear that, guys can be, acting strange or can be abusive or something else. So she wants to have an interpreter. Quite often they want to bring interpreters they're comfortable with, that they know, to also get kind of second opinion and ask, the interpreter, so what do you think of the guy? Do you think he's fine? Just especially if they're friendly with interpreter or friends, because again, some guys complain they didn't like when a woman bring interpreter and too friendly with her and talking a lot to her, which on one hand I can understand, because actually, I had a couple of guys in the last tour saying I would say 2 sentences, but then the interpreter talk to a woman for 5 minutes, and I'm also trying to explain that yes, interpreter will talk more regardless, because even if let's say you make a joke, they need to explain the context of the of it, because if you translate word by word, most of the cases things will not make any sense, or you telling something about her life, but she's not familiar with the life in the United States, so they have to explain what you mean by saying the phrase. So sometimes it can be just take a little longer. So guys get upset and they think interpreter talking to women something about them behind their back, which is which 99% is not the case. By the way, guys, you can see the social footage video. That was, I think, the first social. People didn't. Yeah, probably the first social. I think we had more ladies at the second social, and it's sort of then when people just started going out to dance. We did have power outages during that first social. Nobody noticed. Everybody just carried on this conversation. And I look at my apps. You couldn't hear anything because music is loud and people are talking. You couldn't hear any sirens. But I look at my app and says, there's some sirens going on. Nobody cared. People kept dancing through. All right, let's see what you guys say. We got some comments on poll question and answers to that. 1 second. Ukraine Dave, poll answer, working air conditioning. Yeah, that's always good to have. Blue, poll question, I don't have any challenges anymore, but when I did, it was chosen between the beautiful women. Again, that's a good challenge to have, right? And Blue said, I didn't bring my kids to Ukraine. See, well, that's why I didn't get married in Ukraine. You got married in Mexico. You should have started bringing your kid earlier. But everything worked out for good, right? Passport King says 5'9" is tall woman. It's not professional for women basketball player height, but definitely still taller than average woman height in most nations. Christine is tall too. Yes, Christine was pretty tall. You can tell in the video she's like half taller than me. Even though we both wore heels. So yes, she's definitely very tall. A lot of guys looking for tall blonde women, and Christina is lovely, so guys send her a message. Future patrician, poll question answer. Most difficult would be asking the most meaningful question and being efficient with my time with each woman. Well, and yes, you need to be efficient with your time, and it's important to ask, those questions that matters. How do you see your future family? Do you want to work? Do you want to have kids? Especially, having kids is an important question. So that you better cover in the beginning, but also not in the first 5 minutes of the date, because date still should be a date, Before you start drilling her with questions and turn this into a job interview, you need to spark an interest in her, make sure she likes you, and the vice versa. Try to see if there is chemistry and a connection, Then, if there is something there, then you, of course, start asking the important questions, because if you, again, start drilling her with questions, then never going to be any connection. So it doesn't matter what she says. She can say all the right thing and answer all your questions perfectly, but she will not want to go out with you ever again. So why does it matter? So your goal is to impress a woman on the first date, to make sure that you stand out from all her other dates and vice versa. So it's about finding the connection on the first date. Then maybe either end of the first date or on the second date, you're going to start asking all those important questions. But yeah, definitely agree. You need to cover those. I had a client, and he flew to another country to meet one girl. And I had several. It's 3 Skypes, I think, or 2 or 3 Skypes. So he goes all the way there, and they had a good time, and they start thinking about visa. But somehow towards the end of the stay, they cover the kid question. She's like, yeah, I want to have more kids. And he's like, I don't want to have any more kids. So, and you cannot find a compromise on that again. You can't have half of a child. So why didn't you ask this question when you're talking on the Skype? Why are you talking when you're already in your country? You went all the way to find out that the basic things you don't have in common. So those questions, guys, if you write letters, okay, maybe you want to cover it then, get out of the way. Also, double check it, during personal meeting, but probably not in the beginning of the date. Blue, so much has changed since I went to Ukraine. Yeah, well, war changed the country, mentality of people in some ways. But still, Kyiv was in so many ways still the same Kyiv. Arthur, I hear good women steer clear from dating agencies in Ukraine. Do you find it to be an issue for agency to screen good women if only scammers are attracted to this type of thing? Well, first of all, not only scammers attracted. Of course, there are scammers. They try to find their way in any agency, any dating service. Things happen. but we get so many nice and sincere women, and now more than ever actually, because since dating options in Ukraine becoming more limited, they have to expand their horizons. Maybe in the past she would not consider dating international marriage agency, but now she's like, well, what are my options? Like, for example, we're having a staff dinner after a social. We're just sitting there eating ribs and looking around at the restaurant. Pretty much 90% of the public is girls. Was like a third social there. And it's because in Ukraine, the ladies, in Ukraine, guys kind of hunted by the draft. So, if you're a man, you can be stopped on the street and they check your documentation, whatever, your ID, they check your age, and you can be sent to the draft point. You can be shipped off straight to the war zone like that day. So a lot of guys, of course, afraid to be caught, and they just sit at home. I was talking to one of our affiliate partners. He's probably mid-30s. I don't know how old he is. So he barely left his house in those almost 3 years of the war. He just like gets out just like a little bit to go to gym or something, but he's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. He can't go out with his wife. So it's you sit at the restaurant, you don't see any men. So imagine those women. So there's lack of men to begin with. Even before the war, that was a problem. Then a lot of guys went to the war. Some died, some injured, some are currently there. So the pool of men shrank. And what's left, they either left the country or trying to stay at home. They would not be risking going out and being at the restaurant, because again, they can get them and send them to the draft point, and that's the end for them. So it is extremely hard to date in Ukraine. So of course, women has to consider other options, and other than foreign guys at this time, options are very, very limited, because foreign guys can walk around and sit at the restaurant and nobody's gonna give them a hard time. But actually, somebody was telling me a story for the few months ago. One of the clients was walking around, and that draft police stopped him, started checking his paperwork. He's like, hey, like, I'm American, But they didn't want to believe him at first, because could be Ukrainian guy pretending speaking English. But no, they checked the documents and let him go. But of course, they really check for this stuff. So guys trying to stay at home. So that's why more women join the agency. And at the post socials we had, I'm trying to remember, but I think about I would say 50, 60 new ladies between two socials. We had that sign up. They came and just registered right at the social. We took their photos, copies of their passport. The girls were working very hard to register. They were really, really busy. So women are very, very interested. All right, let's see. Rolf, poll question response is, I hate dancing. Well, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable doing it. Although, you can see even on the footage towards the end of the night, even guys that didn't like dancing, didn't feel comfortable, you just stand there and just do those little moves, like just a little bit like you're in a club. Just rock yourself to the right, to the left. You don't have to be a professional dancer. So, let's see what else. McKissick answer to poll question: my biggest challenge at the social would be breaking the ice. Even if I speak the language, for example, Spanish in Colombia, the bigger challenge would be to find common interests. Yes, that's very, very important. I agree. Blue, my wife doesn't speak English, and that's how we communicated from the start. Our first date lasted 12 hours. We video chat every day for hours. Yes, of course. Where is the will, there is a way. So that's what I'm saying. It's important to have a good connection, a chemistry on the first date. So when you're right for, like there's something there, you will find a way to make it work. So that's very important, to make a good first impression, feel there is a connection there, and then it's a foundation you can build on. Brian, to answer the poll question, no challenge at all, just show up and be yourself. She can only do one or two things: accept who you are, and not to accept who you are, great, possibly take it to the next level. If no hard feelings, on to the next girl. Yeah, so that's a it's a good view of the situation. So You know, you're not gonna match with every girl that you meet. You know, just if she doesn't like you, or there's no connection, or whatever, things don't work out, it's okay. There are plenty of other people to meet. It's just not your person. So some guys get so upset when the first woman they meet, just meeting doesn't go right, and just reject them. But things happen. They get so upset. They just go into depression, go sit in their room and don't come out. Don't want to meet anybody else. Don't let those things let you down. Rejection is hard, but again, things happen for a reason. So it's just not your person, and your person's out there, and your goal is to find her. So just keep meeting people. Maybe the love of your life could be the 7th girl you meet, or the girl number 14, or 21. So just keep meeting people. Ukraine Dave, what venue was the social in? I'm not sure if you've been there. It's a nicer. Maybe you did. I'm not gonna disclose the name because most likely we're gonna do the next social there too. Because girls really liked it, guys liked it. And it was not that far from the hotel. It was probably 10-15 minutes on the bus, and we were there. So it was lovely, and I really liked it. Passport King, Anna is so feminine, very soft-spoken. That's so different from average woman in the West. Well, thank you. I'm pretty soft-spoken. That is true. Let's see if I missed any questions, because we have a video interview from Peru I want to show you guys, but let me see if I haven't missed. I think it was something about Peru, the question I wanted to answer. Yes, Daryl says, hi Anna, can I ask, what is the best way to get in touch with Lima Peru office? I called several times and had no one answer. It's a number that I have spoken with them previously. I would like to speak to Patricia in that office. Thanks. I don't remember what department Patricia is, and so in Peru office we have several departments besides like actual Peru office that deals with dates. We have the gift department there, we have the correspondence department there, and there's just a bunch of different services. So you can just call Phoenix office, call the main line 602-553-8178. You'll get Brianna, our operator at the front desk. Just tell her that you need to talk to Peru office, and tell her what department, and she will transfer you to the correct department. Although if it's not for correspondence or gifts, if it's actually for the introduction services and stuff like this, you need to go through us. Actually, I'll be your contact person, so reach out to me, because you need to schedule services like this with the Phoenix office first. Once we take care of the paperwork and all the boring stuff, then we'll get you in touch with Peru office for that specific stuff. So because again, if you just call them, they say, well, Phoenix office, if you want to arrange introductions, go on a group tour, individual tour, any of that, that's us. It's Phoenix office. So make sure you call us. And we're here Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 usually, except the holidays, of course. So close to holidays, guys, don't forget that, because with the holiday schedule coming up, Christmas and all that, every year I'm surprised how many voicemails we get, and guys sound so surprised. So what, you closed on Christmas Day? Like, yeah, well, you're not working that day either, so we are. So guys, keep the holiday schedule in mind. Might be a little bit slower on responses around holiday time, but we'll do our best, and we'll get back to every single one of you and reply to all voicemails, all the emails, all that. All right, guys. So let's watch the interview from Peru, and I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys for now. I'm gonna see you next Monday. Been a pleasure. It's good to be back. See you next Monday. Have a good night.
Hi, this is Janela from AFS office here in Peru. Today I'm here with Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Let's start walking. I have some questions for you about the social. What is your experience the social so far?
The experience with the social so far.
Yeah.
My time in Peru has been amazing. I found the social had many beautiful women, very kind. But for me, I found it a little overwhelming.
Okay. Okay.
The other gentlemen seemed to greatly enjoy it.
Yeah. We have different opinions, maybe.
Yes.
So it depends on person. So an important question for me is, what is the biggest difference between a Peruvian woman and American woman?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, you can tell a difference in how they look at you, how they interact with you. It is completely different. They are more compassionate and empathetic. With the questions they ask, they seem to be more about your character or how you treat them, not less important things.
And this maybe for the culture is different culture. Talking about the culture in Peru, I know that it's not your first time here in Peru. You are here for tourists for your first time, right?
It's the first time for the tour, but I've been here 6 times just on myself to travel around. And
What is the decision that you come to Peru to maybe find the love or coming with AFA?
oh, well, so back home, the online dating, I live in a small town, so to do the online dating is not good for men.
Okay.
I believe my time here, I have found how lovely the women are, like not physically, but like personally, like they're
Personally, yeah.
sincere and they truly are very family orientated and will treat one as such. I truly do feel that my efforts or what I try to do will be appreciated by them.
Yeah.
And of course they are beautiful.
Yeah. You say many adjectives that describe a Peruvian woman. So, and about the gastronomy, did you try the gastronomy here in Peru?
The what? I'm sorry?
The gastronomy, the food.
Oh, the food's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I know you have to say that.
Almost every dish. I wish I could remember all of them, but there's no shortage of good food. Whether
This is a common question. Sorry, this is a common question. But you tried ceviche? No?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And do you like?
Oh, it was very well. Very good. Very good.
You think it is safe? Yeah, Miraflores is safe.
Oh, I feel very safe. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna middle of the night, dark
Yeah.
alleys, but during the day.
I think everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere you have to be careful. But Miraflores, it's I don't know. What do you think? I think it's a beautiful place.
I think it's beautiful. I
Uh,
greatly enjoyed my time. There's no shortage of things to do. Paragliding, the restaurants, there's shows, there's a little bit of everything.
Now it's sunny. What do you think about the weather? Do you like the weather here?
Oh, for me, it's been perfect the whole time.
Okay.
The time I've been here, it has not been too hot, not been too cold. The sun has been out. Because I come from Washington State, for me, it's perfect.
Okay. And do you think that maybe you found the love or not yet?
I do actually. I really do. I feel like I found a woman that's very, very patient, especially because of the language.
Yeah.
I feel that she is very compassionate and thoughtful, and we just laugh and enjoy each other a lot. It's nice. We don't have to go out to many expensive places. We just hang out all day.
That's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And I know she speaks English, so you notice maybe that many girls here in Peru speak English,
Yes.
and you have the facility to communicate with her, and it is great, I think, because flow the communication.
Oh, it's so much easier. At first, we did use like AI apps or Google Translate, but as we spoke more, it's almost like she remembered more that she learned during her time in school.
Yeah.
So.
Because many guys, I think that women not real because they have only the picture of the profile. Now you have the opportunity
No,
to come
they're
here.
real. They are very real.
Very real. Now you have the opportunity to come to Peru and view the beautiful and see the beautiful ladies here in Peru, and you say many adjectives that describe a Peruvian woman. I think that patient, lovely,
Oh, yes.
thoughtful. So
Well,
I feel so happy that you live this experience here. I'm part of the staff, and I want to know if you feel great with the staff here in Peru, with the office in Peru.
I do. I feel completely. I feel like y'all have gone out of your way to try to help me from right before I land to the day I land to the day after. Y'all have really gone out of your way to make me feel welcome. I do wish that in the beginning I would have requested to reach out and speak to someone in Peru.
We know that you come to different countries, to different dates, because it's different the dates maybe in the United States and here in Peru.
They are. They are a little different, and the words that you say, like,
Yeah.
sometimes carry a little different weights.
No? For this reason, we try to help, and we have to be grateful, be amazing your experience here in Peru. I'm happy to.
No, it's
I'm
been
happy
amazing.
that you have a good experience here.
Oh, I've had an incredible experience. I would recommend it to anyone.
You say you recommend it. Maybe you have advice to the guys that he wants to come from Peru with AFA to live the same experience that you.
Oh yes, I would definitely recommend for any guy to come out to at least try, especially if you're younger. I feel I would have greatly enjoyed it more. I think I would have found love a lot earlier, or compatibility a lot earlier, and enjoyed it longer instead of, I'm 42. It would have been nice earlier, but I would recommend anyone to come here. I truly would, sincerely.
Well, Jonathan, it's a pleasure to be here in this interview. So, till the next time, say
Oh,
bye.
bye.